Support for Seattle Now comes from Oregon's Lazarus Naturals, since 2014 maker of vegan, non-GMO, hemp-derived CBD products. Lazarus Naturals products are crafted in-house, allowing for end-to-end control of the products and supply chain. Info at lazarusnaturals.com.
Hey, it's Patricia Murphy. It's Tuesday, and this is Seattle Now. Online shopping has taken on a new significance during the pandemic, and Amazon is built on a promise to deliver those goods as quickly as possible. That ethos is especially important to the company on Prime Day, which is today. In a minute, Reveal's Will Evans will talk about his reporting on how injuries at Amazon warehouses go up on days like today when there's a surge of orders. But first, let's get you caught up. Washington scientists have trapped a second live Asian giant hornet. The invasive species was first spotted here in December and is a significant threat to native bees. The good news? Scientists attached a tracking device to the hornet. The bad news is they lost the signal. If they pick it up again, they'll follow it to the nest and destroy it. AMC Theaters plans to reopen more than a dozen locations in Washington this week, including Pacific Place, Oak Tree, and South Center locations. Under a new plan from the governor, movie theaters in counties currently in Phase 2 can now open with up to 25% capacity. And the wind and rain from the weekend are going to be back today. Nothing more than the usual bluster for this time of year, according to the Weather Service. And after this storm blows through, there'll be some sunny days on the other side. Today is one of the busiest days in the retail calendar. It's the start of Amazon Prime Day, and it's the retailer's huge two-day sale, and it sparks a buying frenzy. But before you click, listen. An investigation into Amazon found serious safety issues for warehouse workers spiking around Prime Day and other major holidays. The report also claims Amazon is hiding worker injury rates from the public. Will Evans is here. He's a reporter at Reveal from the Center for Investigative Reporting, which carried out the investigation. Hey, Will, thanks.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So what is it about Prime Day that causes a spike in injuries? What's going on at Amazon's warehouses?
Well, it's a frenzy of activity. There's a ton of demand, and so that increases the pressure on production to get all of those items out of the warehouse as quickly as possible. So workers are being asked to put in extra hours. They have what's called mandatory extra time, up to 60 hours a week. So workers are, in some cases, doing 5 days of 12-hour shifts in a row. In some cases, doing hundreds of items an hour. And they're also getting a lot of new employees in to handle the demand. And some of those employees are not as experienced or well-trained. And so you're seeing more injuries.
One of the things that I found fascinating was when robots came in to assist employees, injury rates actually went up. How does that happen?
Yeah, it's really interesting because for years, Amazon has been saying that robots make the job easier, make the job safer. And what we found is that the injury rates are actually higher at the robotic warehouses. And that has to do with how the robots make everything faster. Instead of having a worker walk miles of warehouse space to find the right product, the robots bring those products to the worker who stands in place and grabs your item, scans it, and sends it on. But now, instead of being responsible for 100 items an hour, they have to do up to 400 items an hour. So they're going really fast and repetitive motions over and over and over. And some workers can hit those rates and others really struggle and end up taking shortcuts. So instead of getting a step ladder to get something on a higher shelf, they're just going to reach up on their tiptoes and grab it. People end up getting hurt. They're doing these same repetitive motions over and over again. And so you're seeing carpal tunnel and tendinitis and people getting all kinds of musculoskeletal problems from that.
Okay, so Amazon is strongly refusing the idea of a serious injury rate. You're talking about carpal tunnel injuries, a lot of repetitive stress injuries. What else qualifies as a serious injury?
So, yeah, we use the standard government calculation for a serious injury rate, which is any injury that causes the worker to be out of work or a injury that causes you to need light duty or some kind of change to your job where the doctor says you can't lift heavy products or you can't use your right hand or you need to be sitting half the day, anything like that. It qualifies as a serious injury.
One of the worst records, according to your reporting, is at the DuPont warehouse, which is about an hour south of Seattle. Tell me what's going on there.
Yeah, it really has off the charts injury rates, many times the industry average, and the highest one that we found in the country, 22 serious injuries per 100 workers, whereas the industry average is 4. What's going on there? You know, I talked to a medical representative who ran the on-site medical clinic, and he said there wasn't support from the leadership on safety. He would see managers all the time looking the other way when they saw workers doing unsafe things. As long as they were hitting their production quotas, that was the most important thing. I talked to another woman who worked at that warehouse who said she actually likes her job. She's worked there a long time. She just wishes they would pay more attention to how this is affecting the workers' bodies and rotate people throughout the day so they don't have these repetitive strains. She's been injured a few times and is in constant pain, she says.
Well, we got in touch with Amazon in anticipation of this interview, and they told us that the company has a generous stay-at-home till you're better policy, which you're also using to support unsubstantiated claims of serious injuries. What's your response to their claim that you're misinterpreting internal data?
Well, we're using the standard government calculation for serious injuries. This is what OSHA uses. So it shouldn't matter whether Amazon is generous about its stay-at-home policy or not. I mean, I definitely found things to indicate that it is not. And after Amazon came out with this criticism of our reporting, the former head of OSHA came out and said, look, the reporter didn't get it wrong, Amazon did.
And when you mention OSHA, we're talking about the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, which monitors industries for injury rates. How exactly does your reporting reveal that Amazon is concealing and misleading the public?
They've said repeatedly that injury rates do not go up during the holidays and during Prime Day. And that's just false. Their own data shows that that is when the injuries go up, and that last year, the highest injury rates of the year was during Prime Week. So they've been misleading the public on that, also by saying repeatedly that robots make the job safer. They've also said their injury rates are high because they are so aggressive at counting injuries. That's an interesting one because we've talked to medical providers who said that they were actually pressured to keep injuries off the books and change how they were treating workers, denying them treatment in order to keep their injuries from having to be counted.
Amazon told us some of the things they're doing to prevent worker injuries, like improved ergonomics, delivering guided physical and wellness exercises. They're investing a lot in the workers, they say. What do you think they should be doing to keep workers safe?
Well, you know, OSHA has actually sent Amazon a letter years ago warning of hazards in their robotic warehouses and saying that workers should be rotated throughout the day to different jobs to minimize strain on their bodies and ergonomic hazards, that workers should get an extra break, that they should have a chair by their workstation, variety of other things that have not been implemented across the board by Amazon. It's true that Amazon is spending a lot of money on safety initiatives, and I've looked through their reports, and there are a lot of safety initiatives, but it's too fast. Too much is required of the workers. And I've heard this from a variety of former safety managers who say that is the thing they could do and that is the thing that they will not do. And they will never solve the problem of safety unless they address those production quotas that workers are held to.
We would love to think that everybody is super conscious and ethical about the way they do their shopping. But if we're being honest, Will, many people are likely browsing Amazon bargains right now, even as they might be listening to this podcast. Are people likely to pause before clicking to buy today?
I don't know. I mean, I've definitely heard from people who are, people who have read our stories and seen other reports and decided that they are going to be more conscientious about that. And other people, I know many people who find it too convenient to look away and would like their shopping experience not to be harming workers. So I think there's a way to improve these working conditions. I think our reporting is showing that it's how you use the workforce and how you use technology and what you require of the workers in creating those working conditions. Can you be productive and be a successful company and still treat your workers in such a way that they are not going to get injured in very high numbers?
Amazon also told us so far in 2020, they've committed more than $1 billion to new safety measures and expanded their global workplace health and safety team to more than 5,000 employees. Will Evans, reporter at Reveal from the Center for Investigative Reporting, thank you.
Thank you.
Seattle Now is produced by Sophie Reed, Clare McGrane, Caroline Chamberlain Gomez, and Jason Pagano. Matt Jorgensen does our music. I'm Patricia Murphy. See you tomorrow.